All right, y'all. It's me, B. Williams. And we are about to get into how to paint in art class. All right. We got a little setup. I'm going to run the video feed. It's on a loop. You're going to see what I'm painting. You're going to see as I paint it. You're going to see all the things that I do. I'm going to talk you through it as I do it. Let's start off with our supplies. First thing I want you to have, and quite potentially the only thing I want you to have today, a filbert. All right. A filbert is straight on the sides and round on the top. All right. This gives you the ultimate control. You can make things look square. You can make things look smooth. You can make them look round. I absolutely love the filbert. I have a square brush over here, but you know what? I ain't going to use it. But just because I said that, I'm not going to use the filbert today. We're going to use the square. So we're going to end up coming out with some pretty strong looking stuff. We're going to use this brush today. All right. I've got some paints. I'm not going to show you the labels because that's not really important. You can use whatever brand you got. All right. I do suggest that you use heavier bodies when it comes to your paints, but ultimately use what you've got. I've got a red color. You're going to need a red color. I've got a yellow color. You're going to need that. I've got a blue color, and I've got a white color. All right? That's all that y'all need. You're not going to need anything more than this, all right? So if you set yourself up and you were like, oh, yeah, we finna paint, and you had like 12 colors out, you crazy, all right? Ooh, got a free preview. We might have to smudge that out or just whatever. Anyway, all right, and then I've got a palette. All right, I just found a sheet of glass. This is what I'm going to use. You don't need anything fancy for your palette. It'll work. I've also got two mediums. I've got a matte medium. I may use that. I don't know, 50-50. And I've got a gloss medium. I am more than likely not going to use this. I mean, we're painting a peach and a banana. Ain't neither one of those glossy. All right, so let's get into it. Oh, last thing that we're going to need, a cup of water. And I like paper towels. It's kind of wasteful. Y'all forgive me. Lord forgive me. Earth forgive me. But they are effective in the mission that we have. All right. Note here. When picking your primary colors, one thing that you might want to know in advance is what effect they're going to have. And I think the best way for me to explain this, and you'll get to see this in the year to come as I work on this body of art that's coming for me, is, well, let me just give you the example. When you have bold primary colors, it's going to give you a summer-like feeling. And that's what I'm going to be using. I'm making this picture for my static section of this body of work that's coming. I'll explain it later. Maybe not. Maybe you just got to show up to the show and see what I got. And trust me, when I say what I've got is going to be good. is going to be great. If I'm saying it's going to be great, you got to know that I am going to, what is it, under promise and over deliver? No, I'm going to promise what I got to promise, and then I'm going to over deliver on what I've got, what I promised. You feel me? All right. You know, because that's what I'm charged with. Here I go, finna preach. But still, yeah, jumping back, the seasons. If you got bold primary colors, it's gonna be like a summertime feeling that you get from the painting that you create. You know, that intense, that I'm alive, I'm out here doing it, I'm out here swatting. But then if you use more subdued colors, but still kind of bold, still kind of bright, you're gonna get that fall feeling. I should probably give you some examples. So like, instead of using a cadmium yellow, maybe you're using like an ochre yellow. Instead of using a mineral red, like a pure pigment mineral red, you use a like a created red, a synthetic red. And then for your blues, you could probably keep your blues the same. We'll know for sure when we do our more seasonally appropriate colors. But I will come back to this theme in the future. So if this was something you were really interested in, don't sweat. I'm coming back to it. It's just not the focus for today. All right, so what I just did there, I let my brush know that it's about to be business time. You gotta put a little bit of water into your brush just to get things set up. All right, I got my background, I've got my objects in the forefront, and I've got these 3 rules when I paint. Let me start that over. I've got 3 rules when it comes to painting. Rule number 1, we paint from the top to the bottom, from the back to the front, and left to right. From the top to the bottom, from the back to the front, and left to right. And that's only because I'm right-handed. If you were left-handed, that last rule would be right to left. All right, so that's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is 1 stroke at a time. Rule number 2 is 1 stroke at a time. Okay, magic can happen in a single stroke, and the moment you go back over that stroke, it is gone, and it is gone forever. All right, so we're going to be patient. We're going to work 1 stroke at a time. The most important of maybe all of my rules: always use the face of the brush as you paint. Always use the face of the brush as you paint. Okay, what is that? What is the face of the brush? This is the face of the brush. All right, so when I paint, I'm going to paint like this. I'm going to paint like this. I'm going to move like this. All right, what I'm never ever going to do is use the tip of the brush and try to paint like that. Okay, that's not painting. That's attempting to draw with a paintbrush. And that doesn't work. It never ever works. Okay. So if I want to make a fine line, how am I going to do it? I'm going to load. All right, so I'm going to load the side of the brush, and I am going to use the face of the brush, and this is how I paint a line. Okay, I'll rub this out. I don't really need it. So on and so forth. And ultimately, some of this will be painted over. Some of it will be kept. All right, but it's business time. What did I say? We paint from the back to the front, from the top to the bottom. All right, so we're going to do that. We're going to honor that. But I'm not going to paint the background that's here. I mean, this is a studio, y'all. There are supplies. This is like storage, supplies, production, all in one space. It's the nature of the beast. So I don't want the information that's in the back. I'm just gonna make a tone. Let's just make a tone for the back, all right? And I kind of want. I don't really want this to be about the background. So I'm just gonna kind of mix in all the colors that I've got here. In my mind, I'm hoping for like a brown, like a brown, grayish brown. All right, so how do you get brown? Well, how do we get any color? It's going to be a balance of all three of the colors. I think I need to adjust my lighting because, well, Mother Nature is not giving me an even work surface. And that's fine. I get to preview. I get to kind of see what this thing is going to look like in the best of times and the worst of times. For the sake of this painting and this demonstration, I'm not going to go too heavy on this background. Although, for the final version, when I go in and put in my finishing touches, I'm probably going to go fairly heavy on the background because I am making a painting, okay, and that is, in order for a painting to be good, its air needs to be substantial. And you can't achieve that if you've got a watery background. And that also goes to say, if you've got a strong background, you got to have an even stronger foreground. I'm glad you could go there with me. All right. Let me also kind of start planning here. Because what do I want? I want the front edge. Let me reset this brush. I'm kind of jumping to the foreground just a little bit because I do have to make some plans. I've got blue on my brush here. All right, so I want the front edge of this stool. I want it here. Okay, and I really want the objects to be in focus. I want to make a point here. When we paint, we paint. We don't need pencils. All right, we're painting. And why? Why would you say that? Why would you? I done spent the last 15 minutes drawing my picture out, man. Why in the world would you say that to me? You killed me right there. You know, it goes something like this. There's 1 million billion of us watching this video, learning how to paint, living as painters. And what helps us in that effort is our individuality. So I'm back. Video feed's gonna be a little bit different. It'll buff. Okay, but what I was saying was all of us are working in the space, and we need every instance of individuality that we can manage. All right, and not having these perfectly manufactured edges is going to help us separate from one another. All and only for the best. Okay, I don't want to get super committed here, but I do need to like define some spaces so that I don't just get stupid with painting my background in. I don't normally use blue in my underpaintings. However, I am using blue today because I wanted a blue tone to this painting. Typically, I prefer a warmer undertone. I could have gone as far as to switching my temperatures per object. However, that I do want to create a sense of harmony within the objects in this painting. So all of the subject matter will be getting the same finish. Something I'm doing right now is I'm trying to rub out that interior line so that it doesn't leave like a raised line. So, it's okay if I end up painting all the way up to the other side of that banana. As long as I don't end up leaving that hard line on the inside, because that could become problematic moving forward into the painting. Okay, I've got enough of this blocked in. I don't need to do much else here. this right here is the labor of art. And this is also one of the ways that I know that art is what I'm supposed to be doing. Because I have no problem with doing this labor. Whereas I know that inversely, like this part right here is possibly the part that breaks some of us. So I'm like, oh my goodness, how many strokes is it gonna take before I get to the finish? I'm so over this. If that's you, man, I hope you can either afford some apprentices that are good enough to trust with your work, with your business. With that piece that you got to put your name on. I'm sure you get what I'm saying. And if not, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Good luck. That's all I got. It's just painting. Ain't gonna paint itself. Sure, you could pre-mix your brown here. You could. And then just have this, you know, perfectly flat background and probably be all the way finished with your background, waiting for the next set of instructions. But I do encourage you to work your colors. Try to keep it as consistent as you can. You just end up with something, you know, more dynamic. I'm sure I've overpainted some really awesome moments here because I have not really been following my rule about one stroke at a time. And, you know, that's also fine. Because, like I said, it's the background. You didn't come all this way just for this background. Yeah, we got to do it, but you ain't still here because of what I'm finna do to this background. It does help. Yeah, that's kind of not fair. I said not to pre-mix your brown and then I don't know, talking too much there. Trust me on the sunscreen. Work your background. Don't pre-mix your brown. Go ahead and push in over your proposed edge just in case. We're getting there. See, I started to mess up there. I try to skip back. It'll buff. It'll buff if you don't follow the rules exactly. Except for that one stroke at a time rule, man. You cover up something that you liked, it ain't ever coming back. You know, in the future, these quiet moments when we gotta do this work, this will be where those paid advertisements get dropped in. I can see the future. I could be doing a voiceover right now in my silky smooth baritone, trying to sell something for somebody else. Look, I can talk and paint. I can do two things at one time. I say that, and then like just 3 minutes ago, I was saying something goofy because I was trying to do two things at one time. It's probably painting goofy too. All right, let me hush. I think leaving this little richer tone here on the inside of this banana could be kind of cool, especially once we have those yellow and green tints in there. That could get really interesting. Uh-oh. Excuse me. Someone kind of snuck up on me. And why are you laughing at me? You know, did you get your 8 hours in last night? I don't need 8 hours. Oh, okay. Excuse me. I need 12. Dang. All right, so let's try something. We know that we're gonna have a peach here in this area. So let's make this brown section a little more green. How are we gonna do that? What colors do we need to make green? Better yet, what colors do we need to make a greenish brown? Uh-uh. It's just that I'm getting so relaxed as I paint in. As I paint in this background. Look at that, we're making progress. I'll be painting this painting again with my friends, the Norman Fire Art House. That's in Oklahoma, Norman. And the program that I'll be painting this with is their veteran art forces. It's a free class. Can you believe that? Free? Incredible. Where we paint together. Once a month. And the only cost is, well, service to our nation. So it's open to veterans, their spouses, and all you gotta do is sign up through their website. Norman Firehouse Art Center. They ain't paying me for that, so I may have to mute this entire section. We'll see what Andy says. I guess I just got in my feelings over here. I just started painting. I didn't even really. I kind of stopped aiming for brown. I was just doing my thing. We're getting there. Man, I can't believe that thing just came. I mean, I can. It's jerry-rigged. I don't think that's offensive. I can say that, right? I'm not going to get fined by the FCC. Can you be fined by the FCC for something you say on a streaming platform? Don't let me give them ideas. I know we're pretty far into it, but still, something I want to talk about is, look at where I'm holding my paintbrush. I'm all the way at the back of it. All right. I'm going to highly encourage you to get back there as well. And I know what you're going to say, because I said it too. But I'm losing all my control. Good. And I say that because we should be reacting when we paint. Not like trying to dictate things. Like, look, I got this section over here that I just painted in. I could say, and what I'm doing is painting in this red, just this pure red. And now I'm going to say, well, you know what? It's too red. I would like to see it be a little more purple. So what does that mean? I'm going to grab some blue. That's what that means. I'm going to mix it into the red. Had some cool stuff happening there, but probably just a little bit too cool. So I'm going to keep painting it until it turns down just a little bit. All right. Now I'm like, man, some of that is just too dark. So what am I going to do? What's the brightest color you got? It's yeller. Drop in some of this yeller. All right. we are almost done with the back. All right, very good, very good. Like I said, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna finish that, so I'm not gonna sweat that too much. This background will get another layer, but this is good enough for now. What I'm doing here is a hard reset, and what I mean by that is taking my brush, dipping it into my water, pressing out as much paint as I can, and then I'm also gonna dry my brush and try to pull out whatever paint that I can. All right, kind of like a new brush now. All right, now I'm gonna move my focus to my mid background, and that's gonna be this blue tablecloth. Guess what? It's blue. Guess what? I'm gonna use all the colors to make this blue. I'm gonna be coming in just a little bit heavier than where I was with the tertiary background. Now, I'm not going to paint this exactly as I see it. What? I knew he was a fraud. No, that's not it. My reference is a reference. It is not the absolute law. You know, I am responsible for this painting. And what may make sense in the frames of the reference don't necessarily always make sense on the frames of your canvas. So I picked up some white here. I like that. That's getting me close. All right. Check this out. We got a round edge. Even though I've got this square brush, I'm gonna try my hardest to not put in a super sharp line on this round edge. All right. I want it to be soft on this edge. All right, we need some other colors in here. I got this seam running across. So let's just mention that. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint this down and out. I am not using the tip of the brush. I'm placing the tip down first, but then on that stroke, I am using the face. No, he's lying. No, he's not. That's gonna come back to haunt me. I can already see it. Somebody's gonna be like, "Well, no. I'm not using the tip. I swear I'm not. I swear I'm using the face." Mm-hmm. Then why it look like that? All right, for the top, there's like in the current state of how I see it, the top platform is kind of shaded, and my primary highlight exists just below the edge. So, you know what, let's drop some yellow in here. All right. As the sheet changes direction, so will the direction of my paintbrush. Okay, like I said, the highlight kind of exists down here. So I'm going to use a considerable amount of more white. Once again, round edge, so I'm not really trying to press too hard into with the rounded edge, I don't want to press too hard into that edge, because I need it to blend, I need it to transition, and with the softer edge, the eye will do a lot of that labor for us. So yeah, you can use the tip to start, but you gotta get on that face immediately. Now, technically, I am in front of my subject. What? I guess some rules were meant to be broken, but also in my defense, I am left of my subject. So, and lastly, I'm trying to do this painting all in one sitting and also trying to get it done in less than an hour. I believe that it can be done. I believe that we can do it. You know, instead of using blue to try to make it darker or try to create a shadow here, I'm going to use red. And then to neutralize that red, I'm going to drop in some yellow. All right, this allows your object to maintain its natural color. It's not color. Its natural hue, while still respecting maybe it's chroma. But what I'm getting at is what will happen is, and Lord forgive me for not having the exact academic language. What will happen is, if we're not careful and we don't use these contrasting colors, they're complementary colors to create our shadows, we'll end up creating like these different values, not values. We'll end up creating different colors, and that's when, and it just creates painful colors, and it makes it really hard for some people to even be able to see your work of art. So we've got to be careful here. More blue's not going to make your blue look more blue. Getting a new blue is not going to help you. We've got to manage our one color of blue, balance it with the other colors to create darker tones, when needed. Because we don't want to end up with some green blue and then some straight blue and then some purple blue. Uh-oh, I left some on the top, but I'm going to finish where I started. Got some reflection from the banana, I believe. I've also got a shadow there. I don't know that that's a shadow per se. Like the shadow is definitely on the other side. It's more like the presence of space that we're seeing there. Still, I'm gonna leave it in. I'm gonna leave this little darker section in here because that's how my eye is translating when I'm that space there. I think this came out a little bit more yellow than I wanted it to. So I'm going to go back with the blue first because it's my base color. And then I'm going to go with the red to neutralize that green that just kind of showed up in this. I think art is an amazing thing. It is the one thing that I know that will and can like undo heartbreak. I mean, praying, yes, absolutely. But and maybe even exercise, maybe. But art, and it will heal your spirit. I mean, it gives you a channel to express your spirit, your mind, and your body simultaneously. Maybe you get that from exercise. Maybe you do. All right, so I was seeing this seam, and I think the color that I'm spreading around right now is appropriate for that seam. But I done painted this entire little section. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do a soft reset. All right. So what's that mean? What does that mean? I'm not gonna dip it in the water. I'm gonna leave a lot of the paint that I have in there. I really just want to get that top color off, that white that I had. Now I'm gonna go back to my blue. And I'm gonna leave some of this white. Because it was good. It was just too much. Too much. Okay. And this is good enough for right now. Okay, okay. Whew. Making progress. However, I'm going to do a hard reset here and we're going to skip on to this banana. And what color is the banana? Well, let me tell you, it ain't red. And if you got a red banana, where'd you get a red banana from? Man, who was that comedian? He's gone now. I can't remember it. That joke had me in stitches. All right, I'm gonna enlarge my banana. Pause. I'm gonna draw my subject matter slightly larger than as it appears once again, because like I said, this is a painting and I am ultimately responsible for this painting, separate from my reference. My reference is a guide at best. My reference is a good friend with great intentions. Okay, so this yellow is not quite cutting exactly how I want it to, and that's fine, because, you know, this is part of the nature of yellow. Like, it is, even your thickest yellows ain't gonna be super opaque. They're gonna, yeah, they're not gonna be able to cover up black with yellow, not unless that painting is just already all the way dry. So how are we gonna get it to where we need it to be? We're gonna add some white. Okay, and I'm gonna focus on getting my colors right before I even think about going in there and trying to get some of the nicks and bruises on the banana. Like, those are extreme details that honestly we could end up blowing the entire painting over, when we would have been better off with a plain flat yellow banana. Okay, let's try to get some of the nuances though. I see some weight here on the bottom curve of the banana, and how are we going to do that? We are going to add some red, because we've got yellow, we've got blue in there, we got white in there. Let's go ahead and add this red. All right, and then we are also going to take this red to the edge. Uh-oh. So whenever this happens, when you have a darker color above your, like, you're trying to get this darker color on the bottom, but then somehow it ended up above that. We're gonna start even farther above this darker color, and we're gonna work it we're going to work it down into the rest of the color. All right, I ended up pushing mine up fairly high. Just kind of how it went. All right, but I'm not done working here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset, soft reset, got it white. I'm still working on the banana, so I don't want to get rid of all of my colors there. Then I'm going to go back to the white because I'm still a little transparent for my liking. I'm going to work this ridge again. Now I don't want to leave that sharp line in there, because that ain't right. Ooh, no. That's cold too. My goodness. All right, so I'm going to reset this brush because I've got way too, like for what I need to do next, I've got way too much white on that brush still. So I'm going to round this out. And to do that, I'm going to start with a fairly dry brush. And I'm just going to paint over it. Should kindly blend those two sides together. Okay. Let's carry on with this banana. There's a second ridge here. All right. Still yellow banana, so we're still going to start with yellow. Ooh, that was almost using the tip. Okay, but if we must make a line, we're going to use the edge of the brush. Always. Always, forever. I'm gonna grab a little bit of red here before I go to the blue. Because I've already got some blue loaded in there. And if the banana is yellow-green, then its complementary color is going to be orange-purple. Well, yellow-green, right? Hold on, the banana is yellow-green. So its complementary color is going to be purple-red. So this little section of the banana, this little ridge of the banana would be the red. Next ridge of the banana is going to be purple. Still a banana, so we still start with yellow. All right, but now we got to turn it purple. How are we going to do that? How are we going to make this thing yellow and purple? And this is why I love painting, because this is one of the places where the impossible is possible. Goes our blue. One stroke. Here comes our red. One stroke. Gotta go back to the blue. We're getting there. Might need to go back to the yellow one good time. Okay, I could also stop here because like I've achieved the goal. I've got a color that is still yellow, that is darker than the red. It's kind of green. So let's add some red to it. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, I'm gonna do a soft reset, wiping the colors that are off the top of the brush. I don't mind if they stay in the brush, but I need them off the top of the brush. All right, I'm gonna, because we paint from the back to the front, I'm gonna go back over this ridge. What did I just say? Because we paint from the back to the front. I think I said because we paint from the top to the front. Making progress here, making progress. You know what? I like it. I like it enough. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna paint this, drop in some white to help make it appear as a separate ridge. Didn't quite get as white as I wanted it to, so what are we gonna do? We're gonna add some more white. Now, when you load your brush, you can get this really fleshy effect from having a considerable amount of paint being applied onto your canvas. I think that's appropriate here. So I'm gonna lean into that just a little bit more. Probably not so much on the, well, even the peach has some of that finish to it. I want more of the yellow. See, this is when I wish I had that filbert, because I want to be all round and pretty and whatnot, but man, the square brush is a square. It ain't taking nothing from nobody. I'm a little bit scared because I set all my stuff to do not disturb in order to do this class, so the world could be on fire right now. I wouldn't know. Okay, so this is somewhere where I might start some fights. How much is the detail worth? Let me ask you, if I go in here and I start putting in all these little marks on top of the banana, does that somehow make this picture better? If you have to go to the store and buy a whole nother brush in order to put a detail onto this thing, is it worth it? Where do you draw the line? You know, fine, you already have the brush. Fine, go use it. But if you don't have the brush, are you going to go to the store to go get another brush? I'm not going to ask you to. I'm not going to do it. We're going to do as much as we can and nothing more. All right, so look, I only loaded the top half of this brush. All right, so I'm only going to use that half of the brush. Actually, I'm going to reset because I don't like the side of the brush that I loaded it on. Let's try that again. All right, so I only loaded it on one side. So I'm going to start from that edge. Brush feels a little thirsty, so we're going to get some water in there. What do I mean by that? I was trying to paint, and the paint was kind of dragging. It wasn't gliding. Did that wrong. All right, only loading the top half of the brush. So I'll work from the top of the banana stem. Whew. We've got a banana. Now I goofed, and I can see that now. I got so focused on left to right that I kind of missed this object in the back. Granted, this object is not really important to the picture. It was just kind of put it in there to try to help prop the banana up. Still, it's in there, so we'll address it. Hopefully not having to repaint much of the banana in order to get it right. All right, I'm not going to put any detail in on this object. I'm just going to get its shape in its position. All right, that's good enough. Okay. Getting there, we're getting there. Excuse me. Drop it in a little bit. the tablecloth here. Surprisingly bright to be on the other side of the banana. You know, I think no. Probably should have dropped in like some matte. You know what? It's not too late. I'm gonna do it now. I grabbed some of my matte medium here for the tablecloth. This is just gonna help me get some more separation and textures between the objects. Now I knocked off some of the edge of the banana, but it's okay. I'm gonna get it back on. I'm gonna fix it. If you knocked off some of the edge of your banana, it's okay. We can fix it. We're just gonna repeat the steps of the things we already did. We're just gonna do it one more time. It's okay because we love painting. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Okay. Whew. Getting there, getting there, getting there. Some details in here that I'm skipping because, I mean, to get them, I just don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. Shout out to Charleston on that one. All right, skipping over to the peach. We made it. Ah! Got to reload my red. From the looks of it, we've got about 15 more minutes on this painting. 10 minutes for the peach, and then 5 minutes for the well, this is going to add to it. Timeout. Audio back. I have no idea if the phone is still recording or not. I'm going to be sad if it isn't. Let me look. We're still going, so praise the Lord. Okay, so the peach is fun. The peach, you just work. I mean, because the peach moves, it has so much life and so much variety. You drop in the color you see. Is it red here? Is it yellow here? If it's yellow here, you might even want to just let your yellow sit in there. Or you can also approach it like this section here is yellow, mostly yellow. All right, so I'm going to make it yellow first. You don't want to press too hard. You'll get some of those old colors back. Okay, then you got your yellow. You go back to your red. And then you can drop in some little details. Okay. All right, to get this form that exists within the peach, I'm going to go to my complementary color. All right, and I'm going to paint this weight line. I'm also going to try to like swoop in the color that this form flows. All right. Making progress. Just want to get some of that white off. Took too much off. Gotta reset. Oh, we were making good progress with the peach, but guess what? Now we run into one of our rules. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna reset, hard reset. Maybe not too hard, because there's a shadow over here. Coming in heavy. How did I miss this shadow on the banana? Now, Lord, help. I had that brush set way too fast. What do I mean by that? Well, look at how this paint is transparent. All right, that means there's too much water in the brush. Which might be beneficial over here with this banana, because I don't really want to. Oh, the Cezanne thing just happened. Oh, if my college self was here right now, he'd be blowing a gasket. All right. You can't just leave that. No, that's terrible. No. I should have left it because I'm painting a peach. This whole idea was Cezanne inspired. Cezanne. Pardonne-moi français. No sé bien. Bon. Look, I studied French in college, and that was a little while ago. I've been doing Spanish on Duolingo. Todos los días, desde 800 días. Así que, así 2 años y 2.5 años. Y todavía no entiendo español. No puedo hablar. No es mi maestro. O quizás no puedo entender. I don't know. Okay, here we are. Coming down the home stretch. Oh, still got a little bit more time, right? I said we had about 15 more minutes left. And like I'm rounding out the background. Well, let me mix in some of this matte. I think we've got a beautiful painting loading. With space to develop it further if we wanted to, if you wanted to. Like I said, the primary goal here was to get this picture, this image created in about an hour's time. Maybe I overestimated my speed and teaching speed and all of the above. All right, so you know how this goes. We're gonna start wrapping up. Like, comment, share, email me, sign up, enter to win, bro. Enter to win. Do you not understand what I'm saying? Does it not make sense? Yo, get in there. Let me work for you. You got an art show coming up next year. It's gonna be a one-man show. That's crazy. I'm about to be producing so much art. You ain't never seen nothing like what I'm finna do. You never seen anything like what I'm about to do, y'all. But guess what? I'm gonna take you, because you've never seen nothing like it before, I'm gonna take you every step of the way. Which could make it kind of tricky because, you know, you're gonna witness a miracle and be like, man, how did that happen? You're like, bro, you was there the whole time. What do you mean, how did it happen? All right, a little bit late, but I think I still got just a little bit more time. We're gonna use the shape to help exaggerate the form. Drop in some yellow on top of that. Try to round out that edge. So we don't, yeah, there we go. We don't want a super sharp edge. And it might look like I'm using the tip, but I am definitely painting with the face. Yes, I do have the brush pretty vertical. I mean, the brush is vertical, but I'm still dragging on the face. Very happy accident right there. But that's, you know, that's what I was going on about with the rules, like one stroke at a time. You don't want to kill those happy accidents. Let them ride. Say thank you, Jesus, when they hit, because you didn't do it. You didn't even know to do it. All right, closing it out here. if you all like this. Let me know. If there's something that you want me to paint next, or some esoteric topic about painting that you like for me to address, let me know. We'll do it. I'm here for you. I'm the most dedicated teacher you will ever see, that you will ever witness. All right? I am here for you. Me no work without you. It's just what it is. All right? So let's get it. Let's get it together. Like vamos a obtenerlo juntos. Yeah. I don't know. That makes it any cleaner in Spanish. Whatever. I tried. All right, y'all. Only thing left to do is sign it. But I'm going to do a little bit more. I'm going to put some finishing touches on mine. But I got to do that off camera. All right, y'all. It's been wonderful. Thank you for spending this time with me. And y'all be blessed.